Well, I knew Christopher Reeve because I did this beautiful little movie with him called Somewhere in Time. And there was a connection between the two of us that lasted to the day he died. I mean, of all the people I've ever worked with, he was the one that something really magical happened when we made that movie and when we were on the island. And it continued to be magical in life. You know, and although I hadn't seen him for quite a while, when I heard about the accident, I was beside myself. I literally couldn't function, I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything. I was on the set of Dr. Quinn, as I recall, and I was in total shock. I mean, how could that happen to him? I mean, he was just this unbelievably strong, independent man. You know, he did every sport brilliantly. I mean, he was obsessed with being by himself and doing something pretty extreme, whether it was sailing or flying or riding his horse or whatever. And it just seemed inconceivable to me that this could happen to him. But of course, as we know, it can happen to us all. When I did manage to speak to him, and we had a really long conversation, I said, Chris, James and I want to do whatever we can to help you. What do you need? What can we do? And he said, Jane, I just came out of rehab, and there are countless numbers of people sitting in chairs staring at a wall, staring at a TV set. They have no life, they have nothing. Insurance has given up on them. Their families have deserted them. The medical community say there's nothing they can do for them, and they just don't want to be here anymore. And he said, depression, he said, that's the worst. And he said, if there was something, you know, you can do for me, that would be to help the people I had to leave behind. And that's when he talked to us about what he was going to do and how he was really going to dedicate his life to, you know, fighting for a cure. Because he was told, as everyone at that time, that no, we're not spending money on this because there is no cure, there is no way to regenerate the spine. Once it's severed, that's it, it's done, learn to live with it. Chris would always say to me, he said, you know, now that I'm not jumping on and off horses or airplanes or boats and stuff, he said, I have a lot of time to think. He said, and I've got a brain. And I have this amazing ability to communicate and to be able to get people on the phone and to be able to make things happen and to be able to inspire people to do things. So he said, all the skills I had as an actor or as a producer, I can now use. He said, the strange thing is, he said, I wish this accident had never happened. He said, obviously, I wish this had never happened to me. He said, but in a funny way, I probably would have been an actor that someone would have said, oh yeah, wasn't he Superman or something? And he made that funny little movie with Jane Seymour, that, you know, romantic comedy and a couple of other things. He said, I would have been sort of probably dismissed like that. Instead of which he said, I will probably be remembered for what I did because of what happened to me. And so for me, he has always been my mentor. I mean, to this day, I feel he's still here with me in this room as we're talking. I feel that he was able to accept. It didn't come easy. He was able to accept. He opened his heart and he reached out, and every ounce of life that was in him, he gave to trying to help other people and to make a difference in the world and be there for his wife and for his kids and for his friends. And to me, he's the biggest success story I know as a human being.